If you're a green card holder living in the United States right now, you need to pay close attention because a new U.S. immigration law was passed today, and it has already raised a lot of questions, confusion, and concern across immigrant communities. This is one of those updates that can quietly affect your status, your travel plans, your renewal timeline, or even your path to citizenship if you're not aware of what's changing. Welcome back to U.S. Immigration Explorer, the channel where we break down immigration news in plain English so you can understand what actually matters for your life, not just the headlines. Today's update is important because it's fresh, it's developing, and it directly impacts green card holders who assume that permanent residence means nothing ever changes. Let me start by saying this clearly and calmly. Having a green card gives you strong legal rights in the United States, but it does not mean immigration law stops evolving around you. Congress passes new laws. Agencies update how they enforce those laws, and small wording changes can create big real-world consequences. The reason this new U.S. immigration law passed today is getting so much attention is because it touches areas that affect lawful permanent residents more than people realize, including residency requirements, compliance expectations, and how the government evaluates long-term presence in the U.S. So what is this new U.S. immigration law that passed today, and why are green card holders being told to watch closely? Based on early summaries and official announcements, this law focuses on tightening how immigration benefits are monitored and how eligibility is reviewed over time. That doesn't mean green cards are being taken away overnight, but it does signal a shift toward closer scrutiny. For many green card holders, especially those who travel frequently, sponsor family members, or are planning to apply for U.S. citizenship, these changes matter more than you might expect. One of the key ideas behind this new U.S. immigration law is consistency. The government wants to see that green card holders are consistently living in the United States, consistently following the rules tied to permanent residence, and consistently meeting the expectations that come with that status. In the past, some of these areas were evaluated more loosely or handled case by case. With this law passed today, the emphasis is moving toward clearer standards and more uniform enforcement. For example, travel outside the United States has always been allowed for green card holders, but it has also always come with limits. What's changing is how those limits are reviewed and documented. Under the framework of this new law, longer absences, frequent international travel, or patterns that suggest the U.S. is no longer your primary home may receive closer attention. This doesn't mean you can't travel, but it does mean you should be more intentional and more informed about how your travel history looks on paper. Another area this new U.S. immigration law passed today touches is compliance. Compliance sounds like a legal term, but in simple language, it just means following the rules that already exist. That includes filing taxes correctly as a resident, keeping your address updated with immigration authorities, and avoiding activities that could raise red flags during routine reviews. Many green card holders assume that as long as they're not committing crimes, they're fine. In reality, immigration compliance is broader than that, and this law highlights that expectation more clearly. If you're someone who received your green card through employment, this update is especially relevant. Employment-based green card holders are expected to maintain a genuine connection to the job or field that formed the basis of their residency, especially in the early years. The new law passed today reinforces the idea that immigration benefits are granted for specific reasons, and those reasons still matter after approval. That doesn't mean you can never change jobs, but it does mean changes should make sense and be properly documented. Family-based green card holders are also affected, though in different ways. Sponsorship obligations, household information, and consistency in family relationships may receive more structured review. Again, this isn't about fear, it's about awareness. Laws like this are designed to standardize how information is reviewed, not to suddenly target people who are living their lives honestly. Still, knowing what the government is focusing on helps you avoid problems before they start. Now let's talk about why this matters right now, not later. Because the new U.S. immigration law passed today, there is often a transition period where agencies update internal guidance, forms, and procedures. During this period, confusion is common. Some officers may interpret rules differently until official instructions are fully rolled out. That's why staying informed during the early days of a new law is so important. This is also why channels like U.S. Immigration Explorer exist, to help you make sense of changes without panic or misinformation. If you're planning to apply for U.S. citizenship in the near future, pay close attention. Many of the factors emphasized in this new law overlap with naturalization requirements, such as continuous residence, physical presence, and good moral character. While the citizenship rules themselves haven't suddenly changed today, the way your history is reviewed may become more detailed. That means now is a good time to review your travel records, tax filings, and overall timeline so there are no surprises later. I want to pause here and say this because it's important. If this kind of explanation is helpful to you, take a second to like the video and subscribe to U.S. Immigration Explorer. It helps more green card holders and immigrants find clear, calm information instead of rumors and fear-based content. And if you have questions as we go along, drop them in the comments. I read them, and they often shape future videos. Another important aspect of the new U.S. immigration law passed today is data consistency. Immigration systems today are far more interconnected than they were years ago. Information from different agencies can be compared more easily, and discrepancies stand out faster. This law supports that trend by encouraging better coordination between departments. For green card holders, this means accuracy matters. Small mistakes that used to go unnoticed may now trigger questions simply because systems talk to each other more efficiently. This doesn't mean you need to be anxious, but it does mean you should be organized. Keep copies of important documents. Know your travel dates. Understand your filing history. These habits were always good practice, but they're becoming essential as oversight becomes more structured. Let's also talk about what this new law does not do, because misinformation spreads fast when immigration news breaks. This law does not cancel green cards. It does not automatically revoke permanent resident status. It does not change the definition of a green card holder overnight. What it does is clarify expectations and strengthen how existing rules are applied. That distinction matters because fear often comes from misunderstanding. If you're hearing dramatic claims online about mass revocations or immediate penalties, take a step back. Immigration law changes are usually implemented gradually with guidance and review processes in place. The real risk is not the law itself, but ignoring how it affects your responsibilities over time. One practical step green card holders should take now is to review their recent history with an honest eye. Ask yourself where you've been living, how often you've traveled, whether your records are accurate, and whether there are any unresolved issues you've been putting off. Awareness is power when it comes to immigration. This is also a good moment to think about your long-term goals. If U.S. citizenship is part of your plan, aligning your actions now with that goal makes sense. If you plan to remain a permanent resident long-term, understanding the expectations that come with that status helps you protect it. I want to emphasize that staying informed doesn't mean you need to become an immigration expert. It means you know where to get reliable information and you don't ignore updates because they seem complicated. Immigration law affects real lives, real families, and real futures, and taking it seriously is an act of self-respect. As more details about how this new U.S. immigration law passed today will be implemented, I'll continue breaking them down here on U.S. Immigration Explorer. That's why subscribing matters, because immigration updates don't happen all at once. They unfold over weeks and months, and understanding each step helps you stay ahead instead of reacting under pressure. If you've made it this far in the video, you're already doing the right thing by educating yourself. Let me know in the comments if you're a green card holder and what your biggest concern is right now. Travel, renewal, citizenship, family sponsorship, or something else entirely. Your questions help others who may be in the same situation but don't know where to start. To wrap this up, the key message I want you to take away is this. A new U.S. immigration law passed today, and while it doesn't change the meaning of a green card overnight, it does reinforce the importance of consistency, compliance, and awareness. Green card holders who stay informed, organized, and proactive are far less likely to run into problems than those who assume nothing ever changes. Thank you for spending this time with me on U.S. Immigration Explorer. If this video helped you understand what's happening and why it matters, make sure to like it, share it with someone who has a green card, and subscribe for future updates. Immigration law can be complex, but you don't have to navigate it alone.